Hey everyone, welcome back to Car Flash, the channel where glossy brochures, staged commercials, and dealership hype all get tossed aside so we can focus on the things that actually matter: how cars look, feel, and perform when you see them up close in the real world. If you're new here, welcome aboard. If you've been with us for a while, thanks for sticking around and helping build this community of car lovers who want the real picture, not the polished sales pitch. Today we're diving deep into the 2026 Volvo XC70, a car that brings back a name many thought was gone forever but reinvents it for a modern audience. Volvo calls it a luxury crossover with a rugged edge, and after spending time with it, there's plenty to talk about. Exterior: the first thing you notice about the 2026 XC70 is its design, and Volvo has really leaned into its Scandinavian roots with this one. At the front, you get that bold shield-style grille with a cleaner, more upright profile compared to some of Volvo's other SUVs. The grille itself is framed in satin chrome, which gives it a premium look, but what really draws your attention are the headlights. Volvo has kept its signature Thor's hammer-led design, but for 2026 they're sharper, thinner, and feature adaptive pixel tech that can carve out dark spots around oncoming traffic without blinding anyone. The bumper is chunkier than what you'd see on an XC60, with protective cladding that instantly tells you this thing is designed for more than just the city. There's also a subtle skid plate element at the bottom that reinforces the XC70's adventurous side. From the side profile, the car strikes a balance between wagon practicality and SUV toughness. Unlike the XC90, which is taller and boxier, the XC70 sits slightly lower and more elongated, almost like a luxury adventure wagon on stilts. The roofline is straight but elegant, and Volvo has kept the glass area generous, which makes the cabin feel airy from the outside and improves visibility from inside. The wheel arches are squared off and lined with dark plastic cladding, giving off that rugged outdoorsy vibe. Depending on the trim, you get wheels ranging from 19 to 21 inches, and they all carry that signature Volvo minimalistic design with a strong, turbine-like pattern. Roof rails come standard, and they're not just decorative, they're functional and sturdy, ready to take bikes, roof boxes, or whatever gear you're hauling for the weekend. Moving to the back, the XC70 stays true to Volvo's design DNA with tall, vertical taillights that stretch along the deep pillars and wrap slightly onto the tailgate. These are fully LED with a crisp light signature that makes the car instantly recognizable at night. The rear bumper has more protective cladding, and again we see a faux skid plate that adds toughness without trying too hard. There's no fake exhaust trim here. Volvo is done with that trend, and instead, you get a clean, simple rear fascia that matches the brand's minimalist philosophy. A subtle roof spoiler extends over the rear glass, and the tailgate itself is wide and power-operated, making access to the cargo area super easy. Overall, the exterior design feels very Volvo, understated, classy, but with just enough ruggedness to set it apart from the XC60 and XC90. Interior: step inside, and this is where Volvo has always excelled, but the 2026 XC70 really pushes the game forward. The cabin feels like stepping into a modern Scandinavian living room, a calm, uncluttered, but undeniably premium. Volvo has leaned heavily into sustainable materials, with options like wool blend upholstery, recycled textiles, and responsibly sourced leather alternatives. For those who prefer traditional leather, it's still available, but the brand is clearly nudging customers toward greener options. The dashboard is dominated by a large 14.5-inch vertical touchscreen running the latest Google-based infotainment system. It's faster, cleaner, and integrates seamlessly with Google Maps, Assistant, and even third-party apps. Right in front of the driver sits a 12.3-inch digital cluster that's crisp, customizable, and easy to read, while a head-up display projects key info onto the windshield. The seats are classic Volvo, among the best in the business. They're supportive, comfortable on long drives, and available with heating, ventilation, and massage. In the rear, passengers get plenty of legroom and headroom, thanks to the XC70's stretched proportions compared to the XC60. The rear seats also recline slightly, making long journeys more comfortable. Cargo space is generous, with over 30 cubic feet behind the second row and more than double that with the seats folded flat. The cabin is also incredibly quiet, with Volvo using thicker glass, more insulation, and clever sound deadening to keep out wind and road noise. Ambient lighting with customizable colors adds a calming touch, and a panoramic sunroof floods the cabin with light. Every detail feels carefully considered, from the knurled metal accents to the wood trim options that are warm to the touch instead of glossy in cold. When it comes to performance, the XC70 offers multiple options, and this is where Volvo's electrification push really shows. The base model uses a mild hybrid 4-cylinder, delivering smooth and efficient power with around 260 horsepower. Above that, there's a plug-in hybrid version that combines a turbocharged engine with an electric motor, offering over 450 horsepower and nearly 50 miles of pure electric driving. And then there's the fully electric XC70 Recharge, which shares its platform with Volvo's other EVs and delivers up to 500 horsepower with all-wheel drive as standard. The EV variant can sprint from 0 to 60 in just under 4.8 seconds, which is seriously impressive for a car that looks this understated. Range is rated at around 330 miles on a single charge, with fast charging support that can take you from 10 to 80% in under 30 minutes. On the road, the XC70 is exactly what you'd expect from Volvo: smooth, composed, and confidence-inspiring. The suspension is tuned for comfort, but with adaptive dampers and an optional air suspension, it can handle rough roads and even mild off-road trails with ease. The steering is light but precise, and while it's not a sports SUV, it's more than capable of handling twisty roads with confidence. Safety tech, of course, is front and center. Volvo's latest driver assistance suite includes everything from adaptive cruise with lane centering to autonomous emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, and even a system that can detect large animals at night. There's also Volvo's new semi-autonomous driving mode, which allows hands-free operation on approved highways under certain conditions. Pricing for the 2026 XC70 starts around $50,000 for the mild hybrid version, which makes it a strong competitor to the Audi A6 Allroad and Mercedes E-Class All-Terrain. The plug-in hybrid pushes closer to $65,000, while the fully electric XC70 Recharge starts just under $70,000. Fully loaded with all the options, it can crest the $85,000 mark, putting it in the same territory as luxury EV SUVs from BMW and Audi. Considering what you get: the premium materials, advanced tech, strong performance, and Volvo's legendary safety reputation, it feels like a solid value in the premium crossover space. So, after spending time with the 2026 Volvo XC70, what's the verdict? This isn't just a nostalgic rebirth of an old nameplate, it's Volvo showing the world that you can combine ruggedness, luxury, and electrification in a way that feels authentic. It's not the flashiest car in its segment, but that's the whole point. This is a vehicle for people who appreciate subtlety, who want comfort and practicality wrapped in understated elegance, and who aren't afraid to take the road less traveled. It's refined yet adventurous, modern yet familiar, and in many ways, it might just be the perfect expression of what Volvo stands for today. That wraps up our deep dive into the 2026 Volvo XC70. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment down below letting me know what you think of Volvo's latest creation. Would you choose this over something like the Audi Allroad, or does the fully electric version put it up against the likes of Tesla and BMW? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching Car Flash, and I'll see you in the next one, where we keep bringing you real-world looks at the cars that matter.